I wanted to talk about this because a lot of times we like to not take accountability for the things that are happening in our lives. So this is all about all things accountability. You know, all things accountability. This is something that I had to learn, and once I started to learn more about accountability and start taking accountability for the things that were happening in my life, then that's when things started to turn over for me, and I stopped feeling sorry for myself, and I stopped making excuses for myself, and even other people around me. Stop making excuses for what was happening in my life, and actually um, doing something different so I could be able to attract something different in my life. And I like this little phrase that I say now is, I don't make excuses, I make it happen. Okay? So today is all about evaluating the blame. This is going to be a very quick, brief video. Really like a quick storytelling. Y'all know, like, God has blessed me with the gift to be able to share my experiences, my growth, literally just everything it is that I go through telling my stories. Like, that's how I have realized that I can help other people as well. So that's what this is all about. You know, that's what this channel is all about. Me going through the things that I go through and sharing my story so I could be able to help other people who may go through some of the similar things. So yeah, evaluating the blame. So this kind of popped up on my radar because, all right, y'all know I have a daughter. My daughter, she's 2 years old, and since I recently moved to Texas, you know, it's just me by myself. We literally only have like one family member, but they live an hour away from us, and you know, things get really kind of like hard for me. Things get very chaotic, especially like with me running my businesses. It's very hard trying to get somebody to watch her or just to get certain things done when I have her and stuff like that. So I started to realize that I started to get really frustrated and angry and all of these things, and it got to the point where I started like procrastinating, and I wasn't getting things done because I just remember me constantly saying like, I can't get nothing done, you know, or I don't have nobody to watch her, or this or that, just constantly like making excuses and doing all these things and all of these that, but and all of this and that. And going back to what I said earlier, you know, now I always have this phrase in my head: I don't make excuses, I make it happen. If I hear myself or I feel myself starting to make an excuse, I gotta snap out of it really quick, because what are the excuses for? What can you do differently to change the narrative of the situation instead of complaining? Because when you complain, what happens? Nothing happens when you complain. So what can I do to change this situation right now? So I started to realize, like, dang, I'm constantly blaming my child for me being stuck where I'm at. So literally, I remember, like, I would literally take her to school and I would come home, try to get stuff done, and then I'm like, have a whole to-do list of just things that I have to get done, and I'll start working on some stuff, then something may take long, and I'll take a break, you know, just to the point where I would just get so overwhelmed that I wouldn't even really get much of nothing done. And then when she would come home, that's another thing, I didn't have boundaries set, so I would still be trying to work on stuff while she's home, but I know that I can't really get much stuff done when she's home for her, because she wants my attention all the time, which is not bad at all, because she's my child, I'm her mom, and she deserves to get my attention, especially if she's been at school all day. So I had to really like tell myself, you know what, I'm over here constantly blaming every single thing else happening around me. I'm blaming every single thing that's happening to me on everything else around me, instead of like on myself. Like, the only reason that stuff is like where it's at right now is because of myself, you know? And I constantly like would just blame other things. Now let me tell y'all, I didn't realize that it took me going out of town. So I went out of town for my birthday. Y'all know I went out of town for my birthday. So my child had to go back to Atlanta. She stayed with her dad, and went out of town for a week, came back home, and my child, she was still gone. So I'm like, okay, time to get back to work. I'm about to get a lot of stuff done. I'm about to stay focused. My child not here. Like, I got time to focus for real. Y'all, I was not focused. Like, I was not focused. I was worried about talking to this person, doing this, doing that. And it made me realize, like, dang, I really been blaming everything on my child, or blaming everything on me not having enough time, or it's not enough time in the day. I think that's something a lot of people always say, it's not enough time in the day. No, like, how are you prioritizing your day for real? Like, how are you organizing your day? And I just remember me saying that, you know, when she wasn't here, and I'm like, damn, I'm not getting nothing done. I'm not getting nothing done. So it really took for me to go out of town and come back, and my child not being here, for me to realize, like, I'm over here blaming everything else but myself. So I had to really be real with myself and say, you know what? I thought I was over the procrastinating and all of that thing, but I see it kind of crept back up into my life, and I have to be for real with myself and say, what am I gonna do to fix this? Like, I have to fix this, and I have to fix this right now, or it's not gonna get better. It's only gonna get worse, because eventually overwhelm is gonna turn into all of these feelings of that's just gonna disrupt my life. All of these feelings that's not gonna bring me peace, and I'm gonna fall into these depressive modes, and I don't got time for that. Like, I can fix this, and I can fix this right now, and I need to figure out how. So I had to really pinpoint, okay, what problem do I have right now? Like, what am I struggling with right now? And my number one struggle was that I was not organized. Like, I was not organized. My to-do list kept getting longer and longer, and it was not organized. So I just remember I had all of this stuff to do, and some things would take long, some things wouldn't, some things would take long, but it would get to the point where I'm like, you know what, I would look at the to-do list and get overwhelmed, because I'm like, how the heck I'm about to get all this stuff done? Like, I'm not about to be able to get all this stuff done. And I just was like, you know what, let me for real, like, look up some stuff. So I started to research. Mind y'all, I already done researched this stuff before. Months have went by and I forgot, because I've been told myself I needed to get organized. But guess what? I started procrastinating and didn't really for real look into it. So research, found the same stuff I had already found previously before. And I actually started to incorporate day theming into my schedule. And when I tell y'all, day theming has been a game changer for me, has been a lifesaver. Literally, day theming has really allowed me to be able to organize my day, organize my to-do list to the point where literally the week I started day theming, like a week prior to me being able to make my first $1,000 in a day in my business. A week prior, literally started day theming, and a week later I make $1,000 in my business. That ain't no coincidence, dog. That's not a coincidence. Like, come on, like, let's be real. And I'm gonna link that video in here for y'all to see that too, because it's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that I start organizing and being intentional about what I'm doing. Literally, that's all it is. I'm being intentional about what I need to do for myself that's going to help me, instead of me blaming everything else around me. And did that, and you know, things have just been a lot better. I feel so much more at peace. I don't feel like chaotic. I don't feel like I'm struggling. I don't feel like I'm behind or whatever the heck I was feeling before. So yeah, I just want y'all to take this video and to really, like, think about what it is that you continuously are complaining about every single day. What do you feel like you continuously want to work on and you're not getting done, or you keep making excuses and all that? Like, what is that one particular thing that you keep making excuses about? And sit down and evaluate the blame. What are you blaming? What are you blaming in your life, and what are the things that you need to take accountability for? Don't be blaming other people. Don't blame your job. Don't blame your mom. Don't blame your sister. Don't blame nobody else. How can you take accountability for the things that you may be going through? Bad things, good things, literally everything. A lot of times we go through bad things and we think, since this person put us through this bad thing, that we want to blame them for the reason as to why we are the way that we are and why we act the way that we act. You know? That just means that we don't have full control over ourselves, and we are not emotionally balanced and emotionally stable to be able to say, okay, that happened to me. I know what I need to do, and I'm gonna get back right with myself. Like, let me tell y'all this one little story. Now, I wasn't gonna talk about this because I don't really like to talk about like stuff like I got going on for real personally. But I had started back dating, okay? And I was talking to this dude. Everything was going good. Everything going dandy. And boom, we started talking. We stopped talking randomly out of nowhere. And I'm not gonna lie, it hurt my feelings a little bit. It hurt my feelings. And I remember I told myself, you got 3 days. You got 3 days to soap and mope or whatever it is that you want to do. Talk about it, blah, blah, blah. You got 3 days. And I gave myself 3 days. I said, all you got is 3 days. 3 days, that's it. And when I tell y'all, after those 3 days, I didn't talk about it no more. I didn't mope about it. I wasn't sad about it. After the 3 days, I was good. And it's so crazy because previously, like when I was in relationships before and I'll go through a breakup, I mean, it was different too because it was longer and it was other circumstances involved. But I'm like, dang, like all I had to do was tell myself this thing and, this could really happen for myself. So, yeah, evaluate the blame. What are you blaming for the situations that's happening in your life right now? And how can you take accountability? And what can you do to be able to allow yourself to do something different? Because once you take accountability for it, you're going to be like, dang, now that this is happening, what can I do to better myself? What can I do to fix this situation? Now that I can't blame this person or blame this situation or blame this, what can I do differently to be able to attract something new, to do something new? So, yeah, that's it. I hope this helped y'all. I really, really love this topic for real because we like to blame a lot of people on the stuff that we go through. But when you learn to start taking accountability for the good and the bad things that happen in your life, watch what it will do for you. Watch. But until next time, you guys, peace.